I shouldn't remember a single look that clearly. Not from someone like him. But I do. It was just a quiet Sunday afternoon. One of those regular family days when we all gather at my daughter's place. The air smelled like baked mac and cheese, my favorite. My husband sat on the couch with a cold beer watching football, while my daughter Lily buzzed around the kitchen in her usual cheerful chaos. And then he walked in. Jake, my son-in-law. Tall, broad, confident in a way that most men try too hard to fake, but with him it was effortless. He wore a simple t-shirt and jeans, but somehow it hugged every right place, every muscle. I never really looked at him before. Not like that. But that day something shifted. Before I continue, let me know where you are watching from and hit the like and subscribe button for more chilling story like this one. He smiled at me. Hey mom, he said. That word mom, it should have kept everything in line. But my stomach fluttered anyway. I brushed it off, blaming the wine I had sipped earlier, blaming the sun, blaming everything but the truth I didn't want to face. I went to the kitchen to help Lily finish setting the table, needing a distraction. Jake, she called. Can you take the drinks outside? He moved past me to grab the glasses on the counter. His arm brushed mine. Just a brush, bare skin, warm, slow. I didn't move. Neither did he. His eyes met mine just a second too long. That second changed everything. He smirked as if he knew exactly what he'd done, and I hated that it thrilled me. Later that evening after dinner, I caught myself watching him talk. The way he leaned in when he laughed, the way his hand rested on Lily's back with just the right pressure. My heart twisted, jealousy, guilt, desire, all tangled up in a way I couldn't admit, not even to myself. Back home, I stood in front of the bathroom mirror, brushing my hair out like always. My husband snored faintly in the bedroom. 23 years of marriage and I couldn't remember the last time he looked at me like Jake did today. Or maybe he still did. And I just stopped noticing. But Jake? Jake made me notice everything. The next few family dinners felt different. I'd wear a little lipstick, though I told myself it was for me. I'd wear the blouse that showed a bit of shoulder. I caught his eyes drifting more than once. Each time I told myself it was nothing. But it wasn't. One evening, Lily was busy with the baby, and I was alone in the kitchen when he came in again. You're quiet tonight, he said, standing too close, always too close. Just tired, I whispered, knowing damn well that wasn't the reason. He reached over me to grab a wine glass. His chest brushed against my back. I froze. His breath touched my neck for a split second, and then he stepped away like it hadn't happened. But it had. And I stood there, heart pounding like I was 20 again, knowing full well I wanted something I could never admit out loud. That night in bed, I lay next to my husband, eyes open, mouth closed. I didn't sleep. I didn't blink. My mind replayed Jake's voice, the touch, the look. I whispered to the darkness. I wanted more. And I hated myself for it. But I couldn't stop. Not then. Not now. I wasn't supposed to go that weekend. Lily had invited us both, my husband and me, for a short weekend visit. Her daughter was turning 2, and she wanted family around. My husband claimed he had work to catch up on, so I went alone. Part of me told myself it was just to help my daughter. But the other part, the one I couldn't silence anymore, knew he would be there. Jake greeted me at the door when I arrived, wearing that damn smile again. It was warm, familiar, too familiar. You look good, he said. I laughed nervously. It's just jeans and a shirt. He looked me over, his eyes lingering. Still, good. I should have walked away right then. I should have told myself I was crazy. But instead I smiled. That smile wasn't for Jake. It was for the way he made me feel. That night, after Lily put the baby to bed, she got tired and went up early. It left just the two of us, me and him, sitting on the patio with a half-empty bottle of red wine between us. The stars above us seemed to pulse with energy. Or maybe it was just my nerves. You ever feel like you're living someone else's life? Jake asked, looking out into the night. I turned to him. What do you mean? I mean going through the motions. Pretending everything's okay when deep down you know it's not. I swallowed. I know that feeling too well. He looked at me then, really looked. Like he saw past my clothes, past my roles as wife, mother, mother-in-law, like he saw me. What are we doing? I whispered, heart racing. I don't know, he said. But I can't stop thinking about you. I looked away. Jake, this is wrong. I know. But you don't care, do you? He leaned in. Do you? His lips were on mine before I could answer. Soft at first. Hesitant. Then desperate. Pulling me into him like he'd been waiting for this forever. I should have pulled away. I should have stopped him. But I didn't. I opened my mouth to him, kissed him back, and melted into something I hadn't felt in years. We broke apart only when the wind rustled too loudly, like the night itself was gasping. I have to go inside, I breathed. He didn't argue, just watched me go. Later, when the house was silent, I tiptoed into the kitchen to get water. I shouldn't have gone, but I wanted to see if he was still awake. He was. He stood by the fridge, shirtless, drinking from a glass. The light hit his skin just right, tan, muscular, tempting. Our eyes met again. He said nothing. Neither did I. I took a step toward him. So did he. One more step and we were chest to chest, heat pressing between us like gravity had lost its mind. He kissed me again, harder this time. Hungrier. I moaned into his mouth, my hands in his hair, his on my waist. And then he led me to the guest room. We didn't talk. We didn't ask. We just took. He laid me on the bed, peeled my clothes off slowly like unwrapping a gift. His mouth found every inch of me like he'd memorized my needs before I ever whispered them. It was wrong. So wrong. And yet I had never felt so alive. Every movement, every sigh was a secret sealed between our bodies. His name left my lips in broken gasps. When it was over, I clung to him like a drowning woman to driftwood. I'm sorry, I said in the dark. He kissed my shoulder. I'm not. I didn't sleep that night. I watched him breathe beside me, the soft rise and fall of his chest, the guilt rising in waves. By morning, I dressed quickly, avoided Lily's eyes, and helped clean up after breakfast like nothing had happened. But something had. Something I couldn't undo. It's amazing how quickly guilt can turn into habit. After that first night, I promised myself it would never happen again. I left their house early the next morning with a tight smile and a stomach full of nerves. My husband didn't even ask why I came back a day early. He just grunted from the garage, buried in another weekend project. I should have taken that as a gift, a chance to reset. But Jake started texting me 2 days later. I can't stop thinking about you. That night wasn't a mistake. I want you again. First, I didn't reply. I told myself I was strong, that I'd done something stupid, and I wouldn't let it happen again. I blocked his number, but then he emailed me. You didn't imagine it. I felt it too. My heart cracked wide open again. It started slowly, me dropping by more often. Lily always welcomed me. You're such a good mom, she'd say, hugging me tight. If only she knew. Jake and I barely spoke in front of her, but behind her back it was like we were starving. Every stolen glance at the dinner table, every brush of hands in the hallway, every quick kiss when she was upstairs. It was dangerous, sickening, addictive, and the worst part? Craved it. One Thursday afternoon, Lily had gone out for groceries. I was in the living room with Jake, playing with the baby. He sat beside me on the rug, close, too close. He whispered, "You're driving me crazy." I looked over my shoulder. She could walk in any second. He leaned in anyway and kissed my neck. Then we better be quick. The baby gurgled happily on the floor, oblivious to the wickedness in the air. I should have left. I should have run. But I didn't. In Lily's own house, on her own couch, we crossed that line again. His hands knew me now, knew what made me melt. We moved with desperation, kissing like we didn't care about consequences. His mouth pressed against mine, muffling every guilty moan. The sound of a car door outside made us jump. We scrambled. I pulled my shirt straight. He grabbed the baby. We were back in place just as Lily walked in with grocery bags and a smile. "Wow," she laughed. "You two are great babysitters." I smiled back, my skin still flushed from sin. We try. That night I sat in my own kitchen, pouring wine with trembling hands. The weight of what I was doing finally sat heavy on my chest. I was betraying my daughter, my husband, my family. But the sickest truth of all? I didn't want to stop. Jake saw me, touched me, made me feel like I mattered again. And after years of being invisible, that kind of attention was like a drug. Every message he sent, Every kiss he stole was another hit I couldn't resist. My phone buzzed again. Tomorrow. Same time. Please. I stared at the screen for a long time. Then I typed back one word. Okay. The guilt was starting to rot me from the inside out. First I could pretend. I could put on the smile, act like the doting wife and loving mother. But something had shifted. Every time Jake touched me I flinched, not from disgust but from how deep I'd fallen. We weren't just sneaking around anymore. We were depending on it. I'd lie to my husband and tell him I was helping Lily with the baby. Sometimes I was. But most of the time, Jake and I were tangled in hotel sheets, moaning into each other's mouths while the world outside stayed clueless. But lies don't stay buried forever. And one day I slipped. It was a Sunday afternoon. My husband was watching football, half asleep on the couch. I was in the kitchen, pretending to be on the phone with Lily, but it was Jake. Did you delete the messages? I asked, whispering. Yeah, I always do. I'm not stupid, he said. I'm scared, I admitted. We're being reckless. You're scared because you like it too much, he said. You don't want it to stop. That silence after his words said everything. He was right, but I still begged him, just not for a while. Let's slow down. Fine, he said. We'll take a break, but you'll come back to me. You always do. And he wasn't wrong. A few days later, Lily called. Hey, Mom. Can I ask you something? My heart skipped. Of course. What's up? Have you noticed anything off with Jake lately? I swallowed. Off? Like what? He's been distant, always checking his phone. He even smells like cologne that isn't his. I froze. I asked him about it, she continued, and he said I was being paranoid. But I don't know. Something just feels wrong. I fought for words. Maybe he's stressed. Work or... I just needed to talk to someone, she said, sighing. You always know what to say. My voice cracked. I'll talk to him, sweetheart. Maybe he just needs space. Thanks, Mom. Love you. Love you too. But I hated myself. That night, I met Jake in his truck in an empty parking lot. The windows fogged as soon as I got in. She suspects something, I said. He rubbed his face. Shit. What do? We stop. Jake, we have to stop. He looked at me, eyes dark, jaw clenched. You don't want to stop. I do. You love this. You love how I make you feel. Admit it. I'm destroying my daughter's life. He reached across the seat and grabbed my wrist. You didn't say that when I was inside you last night. I yanked my hand back. You're not who I thought you were. And you're exactly who I thought you were, he said coldly. Desperate. Lonely. Addicted. Tears burned my eyes. We're done. I slammed the door and walked into the night. But done didn't mean over. Because 3 days later he sent a video. A short one. No face. Just skin. Moaning. Movement. Me. I stared at it, my blood running cold. Delete that, I messaged him. I will. If you see me again. The panic wrapped around my chest like a snake. He was blackmailing me. But part of me wasn't surprised. I'd handed him that power. I let this grow out of control. And now I had to live with it. That weekend we had a family barbecue. Jake was there. So was Lily. He looked at me from across the yard, holding his daughter in his arms. No guilt on his face. No shame. Just control. And I smiled for the photos. I flipped burgers and poured lemonade. I told Lily how lucky she was. And all the while I could feel the lie tightening like a noose. For those who can't get enough of these dark, emotional twists and forbidden temptations, remember to like and subscribe for more stories like this one. I used to believe that secrets, if hidden well enough, could stay buried forever. But the truth always finds a way to rise, doesn't it? Like oil on water. No matter how still you keep it, it floats to the top. That Sunday morning, everything unraveled. Lily was crying when she called me. I was folding laundry, my hands full of her father's shirts. Mom, she said, voice shaking. I saw your name on Jake's phone. In a message. My heart dropped. What kind of message? I asked, forcing calm into my tone. You said you missed him, she whispered. And that last night shouldn't have happened. Forgot how to breathe. I can explain. I tried, but the words were nothing. Worthless. You slept with my husband. No, Lily, wait. She hung up. I drove over, barely remembering the red lights I ran. My hand shook on the wheel. By the time I got to their house, the door was already open. Jake stood there like he'd been expecting me. She knows, I said. He nodded. Yeah, and it's over. She showed you the message? She read everything. She even found the hotel receipt. You weren't careful. And you were. I snapped. You let this happen. We both did. I looked past him. Where is she? Upstairs. She doesn't want to see you. I tried to go inside, but he blocked the door. I said she doesn't want to see you. I stared him down. You used me. You filmed us. You begged me, he interrupted. Don't pretend I forced anything. You were the one texting me at midnight. You were the one lying to your husband. Your daughter. Why didn't you delete the video? I asked. Why send it? His eyes narrowed. Because I wanted to make sure you'd never leave me. You're sick. He smirked. And you're worse. You let me ruin your family. I slapped him. He didn't flinch. I went back to my car numb, dead inside. My phone was blowing up, calls from Lily, from my husband, from his mother. I didn't answer any of them. I didn't even cry. Not yet. That night I sat in the dark with a glass of wine, staring out the window. The house was quiet. My husband had taken his things and left. I didn't stop him. I couldn't even speak when he asked if it was true. Yes, was all I said. One word. And everything we built came crashing down. Lily didn't forgive me. She moved back in with her father, took the baby, and cut ties with both of us. I heard from a friend that Jake moved in with some other woman a few weeks later. Apparently, he's already cheating on her too. I guess some men are like poison, they never change. As for me, I live alone now. No visits. No holidays. Just silence and memory. I wish I could go back. I wish I had never let him touch me. But wishing doesn't undo anything. It doesn't fix broken hearts or forgotten trust. It just reminds you of what you've lost. They say time heals all wounds, but some scars stay forever. I'll carry mine for the rest of my life, because I wasn't just a mother or a wife or a woman who made a mistake. I was a storm, and I destroyed the people I loved most. If this story pulled you into its web of betrayal and heartbreak, be sure to like and subscribe for more emotional, gripping tales of love, lust, and the consequences of forbidden choices. Don't miss what's coming next. Thank you.